Supercell is revealing 3 new games, and I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about them. Hello, fellow Clashers! I'm KairosTime, and it is time to clash. It's been a long time since I've said that on a video. Supercell just announced on their Clash of Clans YouTube channel that they have 3 new games in the making, all set within the Clash universe. Personally, I think they should have gone with Brawl Stars, but you know, Clash is fine. This is huge. And the reason why is because I don't think that they would announce that these games are in development unless they already had plans to eventually get those games in the hands of us, their players. The questions that you guys probably have are, what are the games? What are they like? How fun are they to play? And also, when are we going to be able to play them? Now, Supercell gave me an early look at the announcement video, and I've looked it over frame by frame, over and over and over again, pretty much like I do with the Brawl Talk videos, so that I could answer those questions for you guys. Let's talk about the individual games first, and then we'll talk about when I think you're going to be able to play them. Let's start off with Clash Quest, and then we'll talk about Clash Mini. Supercell describes Clash Quest as a turn-based tactical adventure strategy game. The idea behind it is that you control various Clash-themed troops that you use to beat various strategic challenges. The basic concept is actually pretty simple. You tap on the character to make them attack. If you tap on one character like this lonely barbarian, only he will attack. But if you tap on a character with duplicates next to them, then they will all attack for a combo like this set of 3 archers. Now you start off with a certain amount of troops in your army, and if you don't have enough to complete the challenge, you'll have to try again with either a larger army or a stronger one. Also, from the looks of it, you can use different spells to your advantage as well. Now my initial thought on the game was that it was kind of like a Connect 3 type of like Heyday Pop thing, where the goal is to gather as many troops as possible, and then you get big combos and stuff like that. But after watching through the footage, I think it's actually going to be a lot more deep than that, which is why I can't wait to get this in my hands. Over the course of the playing experience, it looks like you'll have to build up a squad of different characters. As you can see here, not only is your goal to get as many as possible, but they also have character levels that you can upgrade to make them stronger. Each character has a set amount of health, attack damage, and you can even change the way that characters will work with various items. In this example with the barbarian, he'll have an item that will increase the chance of a critical hit. A different item makes him deal additional damage when he's wounded. And then there's a third item that looks like some sort of a defensive ability. Now on top of that, they're introducing bosses into the Clash universe, like Papa Dragon here, right? And those are going to provide difficult challenges for players to overcome. Now a really big thing to consider for any Supercell game is whether or not the game is going to be something that people will play for years. That's like the golden standard of what they use to determine if a game will be killed or actually released globally. And they primarily look at 2 factors, okay? The first is the core gameplay fun to play for years? And the second is the game socially enjoyable? Like, is there a social reason to play it? I have not played this game yet. I haven't played any of these 3 games yet, so I can't tell you whether the gameplay is really fun, but it does look like it has potential. In fact, I could really see this being a lot of fun if they added some sort of a player versus player element on top of just these environmental challenges that you're seeing right now. Either way though, this looks like a fun game, and I'm really excited for them to expand the Clash universe. Now let's talk about Clash Mini, and then we'll talk about Clash Heroes. Imagine your favorite Clash characters sitting around a table with their favorite board game playing against each other, right? And that's pretty much the story behind Clash Mini. Oh man. I'm really excited about this one. This seems like Supercell's take on a Clash version of like auto battler genre, which is popularized by Dota's auto chess, right? With that said though, it looks like Supercell's taken a very different approach to it that I think is gonna fix a lot of the main issues that I have had with auto battlers in the past. I'm talking about core issues that have kind of prevented them from becoming mainstream popular. And those changes are exactly why I'm so excited to play this game. The idea is that you have a turn phase and a battle phase. During the turn phase, you have a certain amount of time to place characters that you buy using Clash's limited resource, Elixir. Each character has various stats that makes them unique and a specific type of ability, like the archer who fires at the furthest possible enemy, and then the prince who charges forward at the beginning of the match dealing damage on hit. It looks like players will be able to place down a maximum of just 6 characters at a time, and based off of the stars that you see above some of the characters' heads, it looks like getting duplicates of the same character will upgrade them and make them stronger. During the battle phase, the characters face each other automatically, and based off of the little flags next to the players' names, I think that if your troops wipe out the enemy troops, then you get a point symbolized by that flag. Now, we never saw a player have more than 3 flags in the footage, so I think it's a safe guess to say that once a player gets 4 wins, then the match is over and they win. From the looks of it, this game is all about quick thinking instead of quick reflexes, which I love games like that. That's exactly why I love auto battlers. However, there seems to be two core issues with auto battlers that from the looks of it, Supercell's kind of fixed it with this game. The first issue is that auto battlers are confusing and way too complex. Most auto battlers require hours of playing before you even feel like you understand what's happening. But once you do understand them, they can be so much fun, right? And I seriously can't wait to get my hands on this game, because from the looks of this video, it looks like they're really gearing it towards making it very simple and easy to understand right from the start. In their words specifically, they want it to be a casual strategy game that everyone can play. And that's very different than any other auto battler I've ever played, right? They're always way too confusing, difficult to pick up, and the rules are just too complex. The second core issue that I think auto battlers have is that it takes a player way too long to play a match. On average, you'd spend like 30 minutes playing, and if you make it all the way to the end of the match, then it could even last up to 45 minutes or even possibly longer. Ain't nobody got time for that. Now, if I'm right about players being able to win in 4 rounds, that means matches could be even shorter than 4 minutes, because preparation phases, from what I could tell, only last 15 seconds and battle phases last a maximum of 35 seconds. Honestly, I think that sounds kind of perfect, right? I'd be fine with a match lasting anywhere between 4-ish minutes to like 7-ish minutes. Now, I do have a lot of questions about Clash Mini. Like, there's a glowing tile on both players' sides of the board, and I have no idea what it does. Additionally, from this mini collection page, it looks like you can select the 6 minis that you will battle with before the match even starts. This would actually remove a lot of the RNG that you see in other auto battler games, which is a big reason why I'm so excited to play this one. I view these 6 minis as kind of like a battle deck in Clash Royale. Now, another question that I have that I think I have the answer for is, how are you going to upgrade characters in mid-battle, right? In most auto battlers, you have to have 3 of the same character to upgrade them mid-match. However, I didn't see a place to store duplicates in the game, and I never actually saw duplicate characters on the field at the same time, which leads me to think that you just need to buy 1 duplicate to upgrade your minis mid-match. They start with 0 stars, then they move up to 1, 2, and of course 3 stars. The Magic Archer here has 3 stars in this collection, which symbolizes this player has gotten the Magic Archer up to 3 stars, at least in 1 match. Now, another question I have is how many players you'll be playing against each match. In most auto battlers, you'll be competing with 7 other players for that #1 spot. And I think it's a lot more likely that in Clash Mini, it would be like a 4-man free-for-all. Now, this is just speculation after I've watched this footage over and over and over again, so you should definitely take all of this with a grain of salt. But from what I've seen and how I think Supercell would want to make this game, I really think that this game has immense potential to be another big Supercell hit game. Oh man, I cannot wait to play it. Next, let's talk about Clash Heroes, and then I'm going to talk about when I think you'll be able to get these games in your hands. Oh man, I don't know where to start with this game. This game looks so good. Clash Heroes looks like an action adventure hack and slash type game where your goal is to set out on an adventure and complete quests as some of the most iconic characters in the Clash universe. The controls look a lot like Brawl Stars, so I think there's gonna be a lot of crossover from you guys watching this video right now, my Brawl Stars audience. And in the gameplay clip, they showed gameplay from 5 characters: the Barbarian, the Archer, the Bomber, the Wizard, and a new character to the Clash universe, the Royal Cook. Now in the gameplay, you'll see some that look kind of similar, like 2 archers, right? But those are actually just different skins that the archer has. From what I could tell, each character had a main attack that charges up a special attack, which you can see with that purple bar. And once that purple bar, that special attack, gets all the way filled, it automatically triggers, which could be massive potential damage. All of the characters also have a super ability that has a cooldown timer. And what I found cool is the fact that it looks like you can actually customize your characters to be played differently. In this clip, the Barbarian charges through his enemies with his special ability, and then in this clip, he actually slams down, dealing damage around him with his ability. You'll also see that the Archer has this spread shot ability, and then this other ability, which we didn't actually get to see it activated. One thing I found interesting is that they did say that they wanted to make this game fun to play, whether you have just 5 minutes of play or a half an hour. And that's actually really interesting. You can actually see an exit button on the screen throughout the gameplay in the upper left-hand corner, which would suggest that you can literally just pick up this game and put it down whenever you want to throughout your adventure. This game looks so phenomenal to play, and I'm I mean, it just looks so clean. And I have a lot of questions about Clash Heroes and not a whole bunch of answers. Like, we have no idea what the long-term progression is going to look like in this game. We also don't know if there's going to be any player versus player interactions, right? Is this going to be just like a dungeon crawler type of game? If so, how are they going to make the game interesting for players to play for years after players have figured out how to beat the hardest bosses, right? After all, that is the golden standard for all Supercell games, is it has to be fun to play for years. Now, they did mention being able to play with your friends, and I'm really curious to see how this is going to be implemented. No matter what though, despite them saying that this game is very early in development, I cannot wait to try this out because it looks so good. Okay, now that we've answered your questions about these games, it's time to talk about when I think you'll be able to play them. First of all, it is really important to know that Supercell's first step is probably going to be region-locked beta tests. Sometimes they learn in their beta that the game doesn't reach their high standards, like Rush Wars or Heyday Pop did, and they end up killing the game. Other times they realize that the game is already ready to go, like Clash Royale, which only had a 2-month beta. Then there's the example of Brawl Stars, where they knew they had a solid concept, but they needed a 1.5 years of player feedback for them to really get the game ready for global. The good news is that I don't think that Supercell would have made this public announcement if they did not already have a plan on doing a beta test for all 3 of these games. And when they do that, if you're resourceful, you're probably going to be able to figure out how to play these games no matter where you live. Now, when are these beta tests going to start exactly? The truth is, we don't know. If I get in the minds of Supercell or pretend like I'm making this decision, I don't think that they would want to announce these 3 games publicly unless they were ready to act on at least one of them soon. Like maybe sometime within the next month, right? They don't want the hype of this announcement to just die down. I cannot imagine that Supercell would want to launch a beta for all 3 of them at the same time, because hardcore fans of the Clash universe would download all 3 and then maybe only play one of their favorite 3, and that would really skew their data and they wouldn't actually know what that means. As such, I think they're going to release one of them at a time with at least a 1 to 2 month break between each beta, but honestly probably even more time than that. I don't think that Clash Heroes is ready, the one you're seeing right now, because they specifically said that the game is in very early development. So I think we're either going to see Clash Quest or Clash Mini first. I'm personally hoping for Clash Mini first because it just like really speaks to me. I love what they did with the auto battler game. They took all the things that I love and they got rid of all the things that I dislike from what I could tell. And man, but no matter what happens, you can go to clash.com for more information updated as Supercell announces it. And of course, there's a link to the actual announcement video in the description below if you guys want to watch that. One thing I would really appreciate you guys doing is letting me know what your interest is on these games. Do you want me to cover them? Do you want me to cover all 3? Maybe you only want me to cover 1. Maybe you don't want me to cover any of them. And of course, specifically, tell me which games you want me to cover. No, I'm not dropping Brawl Stars. Brawl Stars is in a fantastic place. I am nowhere near burnt out for that game. The game is in such a great place. But I would still really like to know what your guys' thoughts are. My whole YouTube career started because I fell in love with Clash of Clans, and then I fell in love with Clash Royale, and I love the Clash universe, and I would love to cover one of them if you guys would enjoy that. And either way, I'm stoked to play them. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I would love it if you checked out some more of my videos right over here. They are Brawl Stars videos because I know you guys love them. And don't forget to subscribe for more content as well. And also use code Kairos in the Brawl Stars shop. For now, this is KairosTime ticking by, and we will see you in Clash. We'll see you in Clash. Bum, 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 bum.